In beginning our program tonight with the first and the inaugural BTA Master Builder Award, I want to talk a couple of minutes about the basis of why our recipient was chosen. And it goes back to January 1st, 2011. That was the date of our honoree's first State of the State speech after just being elected governor of New York. Here is what our governor said 7 years ago, and this is a quote from his speech. "There is no more time to waste. It is a time for deeds, not words, results, not rhetoric. It is a time for a bold agenda and immediate action. There is no more waiting for tomorrow, and there are no more baby steps." Our honoree had a clear vision for what he wanted to achieve, and he has provided the leadership, the courage, the commitment, and perseverance necessary to carry out that vision throughout his 7 years as governor. The very foundation and centerpiece of his plan has always been to expand economic growth for all New Yorkers. The path he chose to accomplish that was to look at the skyline and infrastructure of New York. And when he did, he saw more than just steel, concrete, glass, and brick. He saw rising tax revenues, new business opportunities, good-paying jobs, and an improved quality of life for all New Yorkers. The perfect prescription for what would grow New York's middle class for decades to come. For BTA associations, construction managers, general contractors, and specialty trade subcontractors, he has brought all of us along with him on this journey to prosperity and growth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and my honor to introduce my good friend, the best friend this industry has ever had, and the only elected official in the nation. I'm going to say that again. And the only elected official in the nation who knows how to create a plan that will benefit all New Yorkers and build the infrastructure and middle class of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, our first honoree for the Master Builder Award, the governor of the great state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you very much. Good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure to be here, and I want to thank you very much for that award, but the award really goes to you. You do all the hard work. I just talk about it. First to the Port Authority Color Guard that did such a beautiful job. Let's give them a round of applause. To Lou Coletti, I hope you appreciate his leadership. He's dealing with a lot of difficult issues right now, and he does it with sophistication and intelligence and a nuance that should make everyone in this room proud. He's a proud partner of the state. Let's give him a round of applause. We have the labor commissioner here tonight, and she has a very tough boss. So let's give Roberta Reardon a round of applause because and we have two great union officials who have been shown vision, shown creativity, shown great partnership and selflessness. We have Jimmy Cahill and Gary LaBarbera, and let's give them a round of applause and thank them for everything they do. And I personally want to thank Lindley, Skanska, and Turner for what they've done in stepping up to help the people in Puerto Rico, which is give them a round of applause. Puerto Rico, forget the politics, forget everything else. Those are American citizens. It is a horrendous situation that they are in. Over 4,000 now as a death toll. Just to put that in perspective, Hurricane Katrina was 1,800. And this is over 4,000, and they're not even sure of how many. We're launching an effort on the state side where we have SUNY and CUNY students, students at State University and City University, who are going to go down for the summer, get college credit, work with experienced tradesmen, and help rebuild homes. So they're going to be making a difference. And Skanska, Turner, Lend-Lease, everyone has stepped up. The unions have stepped up. So thank you very much. Thank you for that. I'm excited about what we're doing together, but I'm more excited about what we're going to do together. You know, New York State is the greatest state on the globe, but it didn't just happen that way, right? New York State, New York City is what it is because you built it that way, right? This is a built environment. Everything you see is because it was built that way. I was Housing and Urban Development Secretary under Clinton for 8 years, and I would fly into a city, and as Lou was saying, as you're coming in the airplane, I would just count the cranes. You count the cranes, and that is a barometer of how that metropolitan region is doing. Because you are either building and developing and moving forward, or you're moving behind. There is no standstill. There is no status quo. It's not a static environment. If you're not moving forward, the city up the highway is, or the state to the south of you is, or the country on the other side of the globe is. And we forgot that lesson in New York for a long time. We were born out of a daring, an ambition, a vision. They call it New York arrogance. They call it New York swagger. It is. You have to be a little arrogant to do what we did. Everything we did, they said you couldn't do. Everything we built, they said was impossible. I mean, when you think back to what we built and when we built it, Long Island Railroad, second oldest railroad in the United States of America. You know why they built the Long Island Railroad? They had a plan to make a ferry available from Greenport on Long Island to Boston. They built the railroad to get to the ferry in Greenport so you could get to Boston to save time. And they built a 100-mile railroad. I mean, that was the guts that these people had. Brooklyn Bridge was a fool's errand when they started it. Williamsburg Bridge. Every bridge longer, better, more ambitious than the next. Subway construction, 600 miles underground. 600 miles. No hydraulics, no sophisticated equipment, just guts and men and women who believed they could do it, and they built one of the largest subway systems in the country. Penn Station, not only did we build, but we built magnificent structures, right? We built with an artist's eye. We built for legacy. We built for the duration. We wanted people to be proud of what we built and what we envisioned. Architectural vision after architectural vision, Holland Tunnel, they said it couldn't be done, you couldn't ventilate it. Empire State Building built in 1 year in the middle of the Depression, in 1 year. New York State Thruway, everything we did. But then something happened. Something happened to the psyche in this state, in this city, in this country, where we lost that ambition. And we rested on the work of our forefathers. And you fly around the world today, and you will see magnificent airports all around the world. You see these great architectural accomplishments where every country is trying to outdo the next with the biggest building, the most ambitious architectural project, and they are doing literally magnificent things all across the globe. And they're building and they're developing high-speed rail, and China is revolutionizing the transportation industry. And then you come back and you land at LaGuardia Airport. I mean, you don't have to say more than that. That is it. Now, LaGuardia Airport, it's not just LaGuardia, it's not just New York, this is nationwide. Do you know we haven't built a new airport in this country in 20 years? Denver was the last new airport that we built. So it is a national problem where we doubt ourselves to make the investment, we doubt our capacity for these long-term projects. We don't want to commit, we don't want to say, yes, we're going to do it. And yes, this is still the best country on the globe, and we're going to show you what we can do, because there's nothing that we can't do. I was very happy when President Trump proposed a $1.5 trillion infrastructure program. I know the president from New York, as you do. He's a builder, he's a developer, gutsy. I said, you know what? When it comes to the infrastructure, this is great, $1.5 trillion. He went down to Washington. Somehow the $1.5 trillion turned into $200 billion over a period of years. And now there is no national investment fund. $200 billion for the country over 10 years is nothing. We started in this state the largest investment program in the United States of America, $100 billion, half of what they are going to spend for the rest of the country. And we threw out the rule book when it came to how we build. We took government out of the job of building. You know, the most important thing in life to know is to know what you don't know. Government does not know how to build. Take it from me. I'm a governor. We went to design, build, construction. We have an idea. We turned it over to private sector firms to both design it and to build it. And we go with the high bid, and we go with real time frames. That means something. And we build 100% union labor, because that's the quality. Union labor is the best skilled workforce, the safest workforce. There's an apprentice program, long term. It is the strength of this industry, and don't ever forget it. But with design build, we are actually getting it done. This is not about a plan. This is not about a theory. We're going to go for some approval process. We are getting it done, and getting it done on time. And we are building more construction that has been done in modern political history. We're actually doing more projects than the state has ever done. The Kosciuszko Bridge, don't ever get into a question of how you pronounce the Kosciuszko Bridge, because I've pronounced it 15 different ways and have been criticized 15 times. The Kosciuszko Bridge, we have the first span up. The second one is going to be done. The new Goethals Bridge is finished. We have the largest capital investment in the MTA, $33 billion. We have an emergency plan to get the subways up and running. That's underway. We finished the 2nd Avenue subway, which took too long, but we got it done on time, and we met the deadline, and it is magnificent. We're going to rebuild the Long Island Railroad, which hasn't been rebuilt since they built it. When you hear the traffic report in the morning, and they say there's a delay on the Long Island Railroad because something happened on the track, they mean literally the track. In many places, there is one track for the Long Island Railroad. God forbid a squirrel has a heart attack on the track. Everybody's late for work that day. It has gone on. It has gone on for too long. The approval process was difficult. We're building a second track. We're building a third track, over 100 projects. We're redoing all of the stations so people who are on Long Island have a safe, clean, economic, and enjoyable commute. We're redoing the Moynihan Train Hall, which is across the street from Penn, which is going to be magnificent. That is under construction now. It's going to be finished by 2020, $2.5 billion project. 5 new stations for Metro North in the Bronx to open up the Bronx to more development. New Schenectady train station, Niagara Falls train station, Rochester train station, new LaGuardia Airport, $8 billion, and it is going to be magnificent, and it is underway. It's going to be done by 2021, or some people in this room will never be back in the state of New York. That I can promise you. LaGuardia is going to have an air train because you should be able to take the train from the airport to the city. A new JFK International for $10 billion, new Rochester Airport, new Syracuse Airport, new Elmira Corning Airport, new Plattsburgh Airport, new Ithaca Airport, a new New York Stewart Airport, which is in the Mid-Hudson, which can take a lot of traffic off the New York airports. We're doing over $27 billion in roads and bridges all across the state. A new Kew Gardens interchange, which is a traffic nightmare. We're redoing the Van Wyck Expressway. I'm 60 years old. I spent 4 months of my life in traffic on the Van Wyck. I added it up. I'm a Queens boy. I spent more time. We're redoing the Sheridan Expressway, which was a mistake when it was built in the first place, and that's going to be corrected. We're redoing the Hunts Point-Bruckner Expressway, which is a traffic nightmare. The Woodbury Transit Hub we're redoing. We're doubling the size of the Javits Convention Center, which is going to bring that is underway right now, and that is going to make the Javits competitive for any show against any convention center anywhere in this country. And it's going to bring all sorts of commerce back to New York. New Albany Convention Center, 100% broadband coverage from one end of the state to the other, the first state in the United States to have 100% broadband coverage. New Exposition Center at the State Fair, new National Comedy Center. We're doing a $1 billion Superfund cleanup to clean up the toxic sites like Grumman, which has been on Long Island, which I've talked about for 30 years, which we're finally going to clean up. The largest investment in clean energy of any state in the country. Clean energy, wind turbines, solar, this is going to be the future, and we want the future to happen here, and we're putting the investment to bring the businesses in. We are the largest development of artificial reef sites all around Long Island. This brings in tourism, it creates an ecosystem. It also brings fish habitat back for people who fish. I happen to fish, so we're doing more artificial reefs than the state has ever done before. We're doing a new wastewater treatment facility in Nassau, the Bay Park facility, which used to dump right into the southern channel, which is now going to go out to the ocean. We have the largest solar panel manufacturer in the hemisphere, Tesla Panasonic joint venture. We brought them into Buffalo with a 1 million square foot plant. We expanded Alstom, which is going to be building many of our subway cars for our new subway system. We brought General Motors into a new plant and expanded General Motors' presence in the state of New York. New Buffalo Children's Hospital, we brought Saab's defense industry to Syracuse, New York. We converted everything to cashless tolling, which was long overdue for the state of New York, but made a great difference. It actually works. I got a ticket in the mail the other day, so I know that it works. It's made sense on every level. Environmental, it's faster, it's cleaner, and it's done. And we're going to open the Governor Mario Cuomo Bridge, which was a design-build construction. It's the new Tappan Zee Bridge. We're going to open it this year. We originally estimated it would be over $5 billion. We bid it internationally. It came in at under $4 billion. We saved $1 billion on the design-build method. So that is the way of the future. And when I talked about building with pride, next to it in the background is the current Tappan Zee Bridge. And look, we could have built a low-cost, basic transportation bridge, but that's not who we are, and it's not what makes New York, New York. And that's what makes New York, New York. That's an architectural statement. It's a statement of pride and confidence. We did it on time, we did it on budget, and I was proud to name it for my father. So we know what we have to do. We just have to do more of it. We had a $100 billion plan that led the nation. I want to propose a $150 billion plan. I want to enact it this coming January. I want your help in passing it. It is an investment. We've seen the progress that we've made on the projects that we have going on. Those new airports are going to be a new front door. We're going to have the newest airports in the United States of America. We're going to have air trains connecting them. You're going to see growth. You're going to see development. You're going to see an energy that New York once had, and you're going to see that energy again. And now is the time to build on it. We will get this passed. We'll do it together. We're going to use the same methodology, design, build, and we're going to make New York even greater, because as in the past, the future is what we make it, and for the people in this room, the future is what we build. And everyone has one fundamental responsibility, as a citizen, as a parent, to leave this state, to leave this place better than we found it. And our forefathers did a heck of a job. And we inherited a beautiful legacy of transportation and infrastructure and beautiful architectural projects that, frankly, we have relied on for generations. It's now our turn to make this state even better, even stronger, even more progressive, even more modern. So when we turn the keys over to our children, we can say we left them a home better than the home we inherited. Together we will. Thank you and God bless.